Hello, everybody. I hope everything is working because I've not actually checked that everything is working. But ideally it is, and if it's not, then you guys can shout at me. It looks like the headphones are fine. It looks like in theory, the speaker would be fine, but I've not got anything going, so that's all completely fine as well. And yeah, hopefully we are all having a cracking day so far. I figured we would have a little bit of a chat about the ongoing bits and bobs of transfer news around Leeds United, and I will be completely honest with you to start with. I ain't got the foggiest. I've missed a little bit of the news around today. I've missed a little bit of the news around yesterday because work has been absolutely wild. I've had an event a day since last Friday, which meant that I've been like almost purely focusing on those. But I've noticed a couple of bits and bobs that are going on, so we'll talk about those. We'll talk about the Arabi thing. We'll talk about the Patrick Bamford thing. We'll talk about the Gelhardt thing. We'll talk about the Charlie Crew thing. And absolutely anything else that you guys have coming to mind that you want to have a little bit of an hour about. I'm looking tired. That is always a really, really good thing to say to a person, Danny. Thanks. Yeah, I am a little bit, I'll be completely honest with you. And I've got work starting in about an hour, so this is going to be about a half-hour stream, which should be quite nice, but yeah, not too long. First bit that really sort of took me it took my curiosity, it took my interest, it took a little bit of oh, hello, that's a little bit interesting, is John Eustace outwardly talking about potentially wanting to sign Patrick Bamford. That was weird to me because even Leeds fans, even the most loyal to Bamford Leeds fans, are saying we don't necessarily want him past the summer. Even I'm saying that the summer is what is that bit of hair doing? It's gone all floofy. Even I'm saying that Bamford probably has until the summer and then probably call it, whether it's on loan or permanent. But I wasn't seeing something happening in January, which is what throws me a little bit. I'm going to scroll to the specific bit here. But speaking to the Lancashire Telegraph, Blackburn Rovers boss Eustace confirmed that Pat Bamford is on a list of potential targets for this month. The special by Marcelo Bielsa, blah, 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 blah. He revealed he believes Bamford is a good player and went on to admit that he's on the list of players they've looked at. Patrick is a very good player. I played with him at Derby a long time ago when he started out. He's a consistent performer at this level. He plays for a huge club in Leeds, but there'll be lots of names thrown towards me, and I'll just say they're good players. You'd have to ask the club. He's a player on a long list that we've looked at, and we'll have to see. Now, this bit I disagree with. The idea that there's a long list and he's at the very end of it, because I don't think you have that conversation about Bamford if he's not towards the top of that list. I think you just say he's not a player that we're looking at, and then you move past it. This says that the fact the very conversation is happening is an odd one. And maybe he is fairly high on the list, but I'm very confused at the fact that there is that interest there. That really sort of throws me a little bit. 1 second. One second. There we go. Cool. Just have to make sure of something. Bosh. And I think I'm sort of landing in the same place as Dr. Cox on this one. I wouldn't say like I'm happy to see him go because I would rather he spend a significantly smaller amount of time injured in the past couple of years. But he's done a lot for the club, and I think we're firmly in the position where we can say we can call it now. If someone comes in for him, that's absolutely fine by me. I don't know whether it will happen in January because I feel like it's a bit of a weird one. But let's be honest, I don't see him staying past the summer. Good evening, Michael. Hope you're doing quite well. This comes alongside the conversation that's going on around Joe Gelhardt, which is a pretty significant one because Joffy, being one of the few forward players that we have, makes me immediately think, okay, cool. So that means we're likely going to be keeping Pat Bamford, but Bamford is the subject of a lot of interest right now, and Gelhardt is simultaneously on the way to Hull. He's had a medical, as far as I know off the top of my head. In addition to Charlie Cruz heading over to Doncaster as well. The Gelhardt one, I think, is completely fine. We all knew that this one was going to be coming. I've not seen anything on people saying that they know that he's going yet, to be completely clear. I've not seen an actual verifiable source saying, yeah, he's basically gone. So if you can point someone out that said that, then just let me know. But yeah, we're in a spot where I think Bamford going and Gelhardt going means that we are very likely to be signing someone new, because you don't go into a championship run-in and go, right, okay, so I know I've said in press conferences that we need depth, but then we sold one and we loaned another out, and then it'll be fine. It'll be fine. That's not going to be the situation that we're in. We're more likely to be in a spot where came out Sunday. I mean, it didn't. This is the thing that you're talking about. It's not. It's anything but confirmed. But the Gelhardt to Hull thing means that it looks like someone is going to have to come in. And one of the folks that looks like they are a little bit more likely to come in is Yusuf Arabi, who is someone that we were apparently interested in over last summer. I'm assuming in the event that we're able to get one of the other forwards shifted outwards. And yeah, 22 years old, looks fairly decent, plays for Hammarby at the minute, and is very much the subject of Leeds' interest. To warn people, he is also in the sort of category of isn't going to be the kind of forward that scores you a goal every other game. It slows it up a little bit. Nixon isn't all... Yeah, I thought you were going to say he's not all that bad, but he's not. No, he's far from a guarantee. But when it comes to Yusuf Arabi, he is definitely a number 9, which is good, which is what we need. 22 years old, or 21, I'm not entirely sure when his birthday is, but was born in 2003. And is genuinely a pretty good footballer. Over the past couple of years, his value has shot up like 40 times, currently at €6 million. And what has he done this season thus far? Let's have a quick look. Not much, because Sweden's league season hasn't started off the top of my head. I think a lot of Scandinavian leagues run sort of annual leagues rather than season-based, which is fine, I think. He knows more than me and you. Yes, but so do all of the other journalists that would have also reported on this. And I promise you, if more people would have heard of this, they would have said something, because this is the sort of news story that a lot of people are biting out for. And if they had any sort of hints as to it, they would jump all over that. But the Allsvenskan, which is the Swedish league, isn't running at the moment, so it's currently outside the season over there. This is why I feel like something like a Yusuf Arabi can happen, because if Gelhardt does go and if Bamford does go simultaneously, that's screaming out for something coming in, because Farke has emphasised, yes, we need replacements. So obviously we'd get the replacement, right? That makes a little bit of sense to me. There is... I'll address like half of this. He said they haven't ruled business out, but he didn't mention buying players. I think what happened was, in the Supporters Advisory Board chat, he said that things would be quiet. It would be a quiet window. And that's something that we've heard every single window under the 49ers. And I'm not sure why people are still taking that literally as meaning we won't do anything. Because that's weird. Because to rule that out so firmly when at the same time Daniel Farke said we're going to stay awake in a range of positions would be bonkers, especially when you know that some players are potentially going to be going out, like a Gelhardt, like a Bamford, that will potentially need replacing. And this is why, when it came to the Supporters Advisory Board meeting minutes that came out, the people that jumped on it and immediately made some assumptions confused me a touch. Because I've done minuting for meetings like that. And the amount of time that you can't get in the little deft bits of meaning in what a person is saying means that they're not always going to be the most helpful when it comes to, let's be honest, he's going to have been doing a lot of PR speak. I completely get people that have interpreted it that way. I'm just interpreting it the way that has been in all of the other messaging that the club has given out. All of the other messaging being, We're not expecting to do lots. It'll be a quiet window, but we're staying awake. Which throughout has said to me, maybe a couple in, especially if it needs to be replacements. Let's have a little bit of a skim. I'd be looking at Tom Cannon also. I think he is in a bit of a confusing situation. I'd have to double check. Is it Stoke he's currently playing at? Stoke, yeah. Currently at Stoke. Is he on loan from Leicester? Yes. Did he play for Leicester before coming on loan? I don't know. I would have to check that. But you can't be registered for two separate squads within one season of football. So there might be a chance that we can't do Tom Cannon. It sort of depends. Hello, Max. How are you doing? I read Bamford's going nowhere and on about trying Nonto as a striker. That was taken from Daniel Farke's presser, where he was asked what are the options looking like at number 9, and he basically just ran through the players that can be a 9. To me, that didn't say that they're going to be trying Nonto as a striker. That was, if things are desperate and everyone's injured, sure, we can give him a shot. But I'm not sure. He's gone back to Leicester today. Oh, thank you very much. I guess he wasn't part of a Leicester squad. Let's have a quick look. As far as I've heard from Locks, though, they wouldn't be too happy with losing him again because they are not looking very, very healthy at the top of the pitch. Let's have a quick look. Oh, yeah, fair enough. He wasn't in any Leicester squads. So he could go to somewhere else on loan. I'm sorry, there's no shot that Nonto is also going. What you've done is what a lot of people do, right? And I'm not intending to call you out on this one, but you've put yourself in a position where I kind of have to. So what you, I feel, have done, Brad, is you have gone to news now. You have searched Leeds United, and you have looked not beyond the headlines. Because on the face of it, if you're looking at this, you see the words, Leeds United ready to accept significant transfer bid for Wilfried Gnonto amid Saudi talk. On the face of it, petrifying. Not good for a Leeds United fan because we quite like having our players. However, you go to the document itself, you go to the news story. Leeds United could is your first word of warning. If you put could in a news article, this is as someone who has written these news articles, that's as far from is going to happen as possible. That is in theory. And then you go a little bit further down, right? You've got an if in there as well, so there's not even necessarily a bid. But also, former Man United and Blackburn chief scout Mick Brown has claimed the Whites are open to letting him go. Now, let's have a look at that from a journalistic point of view. You've got Mick Brown, who is, let's be honest, based on his past of being a scout for Man United and Blackburn, just a dude. He's not worked for Leeds. He's not got any links at Leeds United. He's a scout. He's not an agent. He's not going to be behind the scenes in any of these conversations. He's got nothing to do with Saudi Arabia. He's got nothing to do with Leeds. In addition to that, there's not even a mention of a bid. It's claimed they are open to letting him go. And they could cash in if there is a bid. There are so many qualifiers to that it's a little bit of a joke. There's so many, yeah, but if this, then that. But maybe what happens when... No, it's nonsense. And then it's followed by, it has been suggested that Gnonto is a target for multiple Saudi Arabian clubs. Suggested by whom? Because that's a really strong use of passive voice there, where you don't need to put the onus on absolutely anybody. And this is basically it, right? And I'm gonna let you in on a secret because I previously wrote for a website that managed to get itself onto News Now a good few times, right? You want to know how you get on Leeds' News Now? You write for a website that is recognized by News Now. You put Leeds United in the title. You put Leeds United in the meta. You put Leeds United in an image description. You mention the club 2 or 3 times in the article. And well done. You're on Leeds United News Now. Like that. You want to know how little you can trust these articles, right? One of these articles I managed to get on Leeds News Now, and the content of the article was me having found a tweet from someone that was outside Elland Road that said, one of the lights in the East Stand is on, and I managed to flub a 400-word article around that got something like 8,000 views. I'm sorry if you clicked on that. I was really struggling for money at the time. But this is evidence that if it comes to News Now-y stuff, you need to actually read the content. You can't just rely on headlines like a lot of people tend to, because they're going to be completely useless to you. Like, for example, it's now become obvious that Parag Marathe has gone back on pledge at Leeds United. There's no mention of what the pledge is. There's no mention of why it's obvious or what's actually happened. Like, let's have a look. Hold on. Okay. The pledge that he's apparently gone back on is the short-term plan is to put as competitive a squad together on the pitch as we can. We're top of the fucking league. That's not having gone back on anything, is it, realistically? And the amount of that is just... And I'm saying this from the perspective of someone that has written. It's very, very... I've got hiccups as well. This is fun. Very easy to put yourself in a spot where you can just take a quote from a couple of years ago and say, here's how it applies in this context, when it doesn't, and just swim in the clicks. It's so easily done. And the fact that so many people just walk onto News Now and go, I believe it, is headache inducing, because we kind of need to be better than that. Yeah, as Robert says, saw the article, very misleading. Absolutely it is. There's so many of these that are just like, there's no actual story in this. Let's have a look at another one. Leeds United loanee told to turn up by new manager after drawing a blank under old boss. That's not even about Leeds United. Not even a little bit. That'll be about Dark. This I predict the right is loud. Nope, never mind. Jack Harrison. And they were told to turn up by... No, that's not even specifically about Jack Harrison. It's David Moyes in a press conference saying, I'm coming to manage a team that's going to be fighting and challenging. We might not be in a good position at the moment, but you players had better turn up. That doesn't relate to Jack Harrison in the slightest. But we seem to have rolled with it. And this is why you got to be a little bit careful when you're just reading stuff. It doesn't help. Why do you got Saudi at his age? I mean, there is the point of you got Saudi Arabia to dodge tax, but the amount they pay in wages is ridiculous. And it's less of a you're going to dodge tax and more that their income tax rate is nothing. At all. So is it dodging tax if there are no taxes being levied in the first place? I don't know. It's a complicated one. Like on this one, I don't think the Saudis are even in the conversation. On 3 million a week. I saw this. It's even worse than that. I think his new deal is going to be £200 million per year, which comes out at about 4 million a week. And then you've got the no taxes. And I don't understand how that is like economically viable in any way, shape, or form. What are you doing, you weird curly floof? Go where I put you. Stay. Thank you. That'll do. But yeah, it's a bizarre one. But I will add, if there's any questions about any potential signings that people want to ask, just chuck them in my direction because, as I mentioned, I've been very outside the loop for the last few days, so I'm very much relying on you guys to find out a little bit more. So let me know a story, and I will have a little bit of a swim in it, and I'll see where we're going. It'll be pretty fun. Hang on, I've been. Never mind. Cool. Clark Kent eating. Oh, thank you. I'm trying to work out if that's an F4 Phantom. I think that's an F4. Yeah, we'll go with F4. Joe Donahue tweet. Is this the one where he was like, this'll be a great draw or something like that, and it was just ended up at Plymouth or something like that? I'll have a look. Ballymumba left back at Plymouth. I saw there was a little bit of a discussion around Ballymumba stuff. Oh, hello. Do we want to break some news? Leeds United are not in for 21-year-old UD Leria midfielder Jay De Villa this month, despite reports in Portugal suggesting a £3.4 million approach had been made. Daniel Farker more than satisfied with his deep midfield options. Honestly, that's fair enough. I completely get that. We don't particularly need to be signing a midfielder right now. Not a central midfielder. Number 10, I can completely see is going for that. But I wouldn't say a 21-year-old midfielder from Portugal that is, let's be honest, probably not going to be that worth it for us. Where were we? Right. Good evening, Lee. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for looking up for a Jack Harrison coming back. Everything else is out the door, I think. I think we'll get a couple in. I think we're doing that thing again where we're forgetting how long a transfer window really is. Because a lot of people, like even Danny, who's in the chat, who was doing his first stream at the end of the window, was like, we've only got till the end of the month. I mean, we don't. We got till the 3rd of February. We got a little while. And it's okay. Why are our competitors spending and strengthening and we seem to be standing still? Always room for improvement in areas we need. I agree there's room for improvement. I don't disagree in the slightest. But we need to contextualize at the same time. So have a quick look at Burnley, shall we? Burnley's biggest name signing that they have made. I've got no idea. I'll be completely honest with you. My bad. But on the Burnley conversation, a lot of people are like, Burnley is spending. Why aren't we? Burnley's largest signing at the moment, both in terms of name and girth and mass, I would assume, has been, where are you hiding, you lump of man, Ashley Barnes. The reason a lot of people are spooked and saying that Burnley are really strengthening and that's going to be a problem is because they have signed Ashley Barnes, a 35-year-old man who, let's not forget, 8 months ago, we were sat around Elland Road singing in unison with the Norwich fans, Ashley Barnes is fucking shit. And now people are panicking because Ashley Barnes has gone to a promotion rival. I don't mind that at all. A lot of Norwich fans that I've seen are like, cool. Okay. Shame. Looks like that's a lot of money off the wage bill then. Which is good. Who do I want? I'm not completely sure, I'll be honest. I'd like a 10. Cabal is, I think, still available. I think he is, however, fighting ridiculously hard for promotion in France. Thank you, Hiccups. Really appreciated. Yeah, last I checked, they were second in Ligue 2. with Ilan Kebal having 17 matches played, he's going to be quite hard to drag out of there. They're even on points with Lorient, but it seems like the sort of project where he would very much want to get promoted, I think. On Buendia, he wouldn't want to drop down to the Championship. Trezor, I've got no idea. And Latelat is the... I saw this one, subject of a hefty bid from an MLS club. I can't remember who, but is set to become MLS's biggest transfer fee. The last I checked. Latelat isn't coming. Let's be honest. If we want to go, we need Bundy. We don't know. This is what's confusing to me. Everyone's saying that we need to make signing. I like them. They make me feel a lot more comfy. They make me feel a lot more cozy. But without them, and with what a lot of people are saying is the biggest anchor to ever be tied around a football club's leg of all time, Ilan Melier, we're still top of the table. And we would be even more top of the table otherwise. Yeah, we're not completely pissing the league, but as much as everyone said before the season started, it's going to be significantly easier this season, it looks like 4 teams have pulled out ahead of the pack again. Which is annoying, but if anything, I think Leeds might do what Ipswich Town did this time last season by recruiting players on short-term loan deals like Moore and Sarmiento, not Sacramento. Once they achieve promotion, they'll let them go. That makes a little bit of sense to me, yeah. Harrison coming back would not go very well, I agree. Atalanta. You mean Atlanta? Atalanta is in Serie A, and I know Atalanta's in Serie A because my shift in half an hour is on their match. Since the 49ers took charge, do we rarely get news until Penta paper makes sense to stop other clubs? Yeah, I think that's the general point behind it. The entire point is, okay, we can protect ourselves by not having those conversations, because when those conversations happen out loud, people jump in, like when we were looking at signing, is it Max Aarons? When that one got wonderfully hijacked. So I think being quiet is sort of the point. I don't think you've seen Leeds win since you've been doing your logs. We literally beat Harrogate, Michael. Although I admit I didn't vlog the Leicester and Norwich ones last season. I just wasn't feeling those ones. But I did Harrogate. That was good. We won. That was nice. Yeah, on this one, I'm so sorry to break it to you, buddy. I'm so sorry to have to do this. But let's have a look. Content. If you look, not at my last video on the 13th, but the video before that on the 11th, you'll see a video entitled "Job Done: Leeds United versus Harrogate Town Matchday Vlog," with a thumbnail saying "4th round here we come" that says Matchday Vlog on it. I was at the game. You can't say, well, if you were there, you'd know. I do know, because I was there. Thank you for your recommendation. Oscar Gluck from Salzburg. That one doesn't feel doable. Gluck is comfortably too good for us right now. The same as someone will know in this find. Yeah, it'll be that sort of window, I think. Real Madrid looking at Archgrind. We didn't put in a sell-on clause. We couldn't. Because as far as I'm aware, it was a release clause. And release clause tend to just come in one big old lump sum where you're not allowed to mess with the contracts and stuff. Especially since to go to Spurs, they would have needed to spend £40 million. They're not going to accept a sell-on clause that says, and if you sell him on for 100 million quid, we get 10% of that as well, because that pushes it above the sell-on clause. So even if Real Madrid are interested, I'd be very confused if they were. I'll be completely honest with you. There's no shot that we'd ever be able to do anything. Can we do a jet watch where we watch play come in, piss us about, and then watch them fly home again at their own expense? Absolutely, we can. As soon as we have someone to be jet watched, I will do so. That's completely fine. At least you weren't the one that was saying if you were there, then you would have known. Because, goddamn. You see, you say there's no point. I think the point is that it's fun. Like that's why I do YouTubey stuff. Because it's enjoyable. Because I like doing it. Because it's nice. It's a good little hangout time. And anyone that doesn't think it's a good little hangout time, then for shame, ladies and gentlemen. Shame upon thee. Because I'm having a great hangout time. And it's up to you to have a better one, I suppose. I have now streamed for that'd be Millwall. I think we've got a reasonably good chance, I'd say. And it'd be a nice birthday gift for me on the 7th as well. Which is closer than I thought it was. Oh, I've still got people asking if what was like a birthday present. I'm like, I don't know. 1, 2, 3. Shit, it was like 3 weeks. Oh my god. The best bit is, right, I always have it as like I'm staying at home, I'm doing nothing, I'm switching my brain off, and I'm gonna have a Chinese. It's always been one of those days for me. And with an FA Cup match in there, even better. I might do a celebratory birthday stream. I don't know. I've not decided. Be great. Have I seen lots of things on his podcast when randomly gifted you membership, then realised, yeah, I've not seen it yet, but I've heard of it, so I'll go and have a look. Yes, I swim good. I don't know. I don't know what star signs mean. I'll be completely honest with you. I've not got that foggiest. I do swim good, so I don't know if that counts. But if you're in your honest opinion, do we sign even one player this window? Absolutely we do. Yeah. I would be baffled if we didn't. I don't doubt that. We'll sign 1, maybe 2. I think it's just quiet because that's how it works. It's in the same way that over the summer everyone was like, are we going to sign anyone at all? We've got no one in our squad. And then Daniel Farke was like, we might need 4 players. Then we signed 4 players and everyone's still like, but where's the 10? It's like, got what you asked for. Like, it's fair enough. Oh, that's not on. No, that's unacceptable. For context to the husband, my wife's birthday is on the 23rd of December, and I treat them as 2 separate days. Specifically, we've got Christmas, and, well, we've got, I'll run backwards. We've got Boxing Day, we've got Christmas Day, we've got Christmas Eve. The day before Christmas Eve is Kalemas, Kayla's birthday, and then the day before that is Kalemas Eve. When's your next Leeds vlog? Whenever I next get to go to a match. I don't know when that is yet, though. It's not going to be Sheffield Wednesday because I'm working like all of that day. It's not going to be Norwich because I've not got tickets. It's not going to be Burnley. And I don't have matches later than that written on my board yet. It's not going to be Millwall because I'm being over here for my birthday. I don't know. Guess we'll find out. We shall see. I do think we already have a fairly strong... We've got a very strong squad, let's be honest. And if you look at absolutely everything, we are waltzing through this league. Expected goal difference per 90 is a stat that I'm going to look at right now. Our expected goal difference per 90 is 1.07. Every single 90 minutes, we create 1 more XG than our opponent, on average. On the other hand, in second place, you've got Middlesbrough on 0.56. We're almost twice as effective as the second most effective team in this league in terms of goal difference. It'll do. What do you think of the Solomon offer rumor? 10 million, possibly 10 million installment payment project rate. I don't know what you mean. I'm confused. As in, we'd pay them 10 million for Mana Solomon? Because that part makes sense. I don't know how Archie Gray plays into it. Because I don't know if they've paid for him in installments anyway. Right, what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to take us over to one of our favourite places before we come to a close very shortly. We're going to go over to Questions Corner because I'm feeling tired and I need to eat before work. So if anyone's got any questions of any format, Grey Payments, 10 million installments. Okay. It'd be clever if we did, but I don't know if we will. But if anyone does have any questions, chuck them in the chat. I'll do 2 or 3, and then I will bring the stream to a close because I still need to work out what I'm going to have to eat because we've not got much in. But I guess we'll find out. I see that place takes like 65 minutes to deliver, which is a nightmare. It's too long. You can't take 65 minutes to bring me a burger. Like, I get it because it's a really good place, but like not on a work day. Maybe not right now. Look at how big chances missed. It's crazy if we could scored half of those with the goals we'd already scored, be flying even higher. It's more of a. It's weird. We've only conceded 0.5 more goals than we should have this season. In addition to that, we've scored more than we should have this season. Our big issue right now is if I sort the league by actual league table, Burnley have conceded half as many as they should. There is a £1 burger place in Blackpool. Am I fuck eating from there? Because it will probably kill me. I think that's not wise. Get Nando's. No, I don't know. I'm not getting Nando's just for me. Kayla's out until like 8:30. I'm not getting Nando's for 1. That's unacceptable. And I think I would be killed, and I believe I would be rightfully killed. Get Mexican. There's not many good Mexican places in Blackpool. That's the problem. Like, there's a Taco Bell, and it's not great. Chippy, best Chippy don't deliver. Anything else is just sort of inferior by comparison. I could go to the old reliable calzone and burger and chicken wing place. That is tempting. Make an omelette and chips in the oven. We've not got any eggs. That's the thing. We've not got much in because I got paid today and I've not had a chance to go shopping yet. I do have a KFC at the top of the road. I do. It's very nearby. Eat protein. Look, can you... Oh, so big and strong. I'm already eating all my protein. When you've eaten at cafe in this jungle in Belize, anything is acceptable. Jesus. Do you have the dunked burger? What? What's a dunked burger, Mags? That sounds like it's a nightmare. What are you dunking it in? Gravy? Oh, that doesn't sound like a nightmare. I do like the wings. Alright, I might have been persuaded into a KFC. That's the plan. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the stream to a close there because it's been a nice time. Been a good vibe. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, pop a like on it. That's always really, really appreciated. It helps the channel keep pushing forwards, which is always lovely. Subscribe if you're not yet. I'm trying to keep on pushing that as well. You could even be a channel member. That's always nice too. Hope you enjoyed. And I will be... Is Tongue an Asian sticky sauce? No, thank you. I will see you. Oh, hello, curly boy. Oh, it's got a right flick on that. Right, I'm distracted. I will see you later. Toodaloo.